So today we're going to dig into a really clever idea from NVIDIA. It's a new approach that might just solve a decades-old headache in 3D graphics and physics. Let's see how they're teaching computers to see shapes in a completely new way. Just take a look at this. It's complicated, it's organic, it's got all these curves and empty spaces. You and I, we see a rib cage, right? But for a computer trying to make physics work, this is a total nightmare.
And that's a question that, if you're in game development or robotics or animation, you've definitely run into. We can render these stunning, photorealistic worlds, but making things inside them interact in a believable way, that's a whole other ballgame. So what exactly is the bottleneck here?
Okay, so first up, let's really get to the heart of the problem we're trying to solve, the physics bottleneck. So here's the thing. Before a computer can figure out how two things should bounce off of each other, it has to know that they're touching in the first place, and where they're touching. For a complex shape like that rib cage, with thousands and thousands of surfaces, just figuring that out is incredibly expensive. Okay, hang on. Before we go any further, we need to talk about a really key concept. It's called a convex shape. Think of a sphere or a cube. The defining feature is that if you pick any 2 points inside it and draw a line, that line stays completely inside the shape. For a computer, this simplicity is gold. The math is clean, and checking for collisions is super, super fast. And that brings us to the way we've been dealing with this for, well, decades. The traditional workaround is to take a complicated, non-convex shape and just break it apart. You approximate it with a bunch of simple, convex pieces. This is called convex decomposition, and it's often been this slow, manual job for an artist, or something done by algorithms that aren't always that precise. All right, so this is where NVIDIA's research comes in with a totally new way of looking at this. Instead of thinking about how to cut the shape, it thinks about how to first understand it. So for our case study, let's look at this Spartan warrior. You've got arms, legs, a shield, a helmet. All these things create tricky concave areas that are really hard for a normal physics engine to handle.
Okay, and this is the core insight, the aha moment of this whole thing. Instead of trying to find the best places to slice up the model, the AI learns something called a feature field, all across its surface. The best way to think about it is like a heat map. Points on the surface that should logically be part of the same simple piece, like all the points on the warrior's leg, they get taught to have a similar color or feature.
So once the model has this feature field, the hard part is basically done. You just tell the computer to group together all the points that have the same color. And that clustering process naturally finds the underlying convex parts of the shape. It's a really brilliant switch from a cutting problem to a description problem.
So you're probably wondering, how on earth does it learn this feature field all by itself, without any human help? Well, the answer is surprisingly elegant.
It all comes down to the very definition of a convex shape that we just talked about. The model just picks 2 random points on the surface and plays a little game. It asks, is there a clear line of sight between you two that stays inside the object? If the answer is yes, they're a positive pair, and the model learns to give them a similar feature. If the line pops outside the object, they're a negative pair, and the model learns to push their features apart. And you just repeat that simple test millions and millions of times across thousands of different shapes. By doing this over and over, the neural network builds up this deep, almost intuitive feel for 3D geometry. And the beautiful part is, it learns all of this without any human labels. It's all self-supervised. All right, so the theory is really cool, right? But does it actually work in practice? Let's look at the results and see how flexible this thing is. This is one of my favorite parts about this approach, how flexible it is. Because the final pieces come from clustering that feature field, you can get different levels of detail just by adjusting a single setting. It's like turning a knob. If you want a few big, simple pieces, you set the threshold low. If you need lots of small, detailed pieces, you turn it up. And you get all of that from one single model. And here's the number you've been waiting for, the payoff. Physics simulations using these decomposed shapes can run up to 5 times faster. By swapping out that original complex mesh for these simpler, smarter pieces, the collision checks just become way, way cheaper. That is a massive speed up. And it's not just for perfect, clean 3D models either. Because the whole training process is based on simple points and lines, it's incredibly robust. It works just as well on clean engineering models as it does on messy 3D scans from the real world.
It even works on cutting-edge formats like Gaussian splats, which aren't even made of triangles. Okay, but let's be real. It's not a magic wand. There are trade-offs. Using the already trained model to decompose a new shape is really fast. But getting it trained in the first place, well, that's the heavy lift. It needs a huge data set and a whole lot of GPU time to build up that geometric intuition from scratch.
So, what are the big takeaways here? Let's boil it all down.
First off, this automates what used to be a really tedious, time-consuming part of creating 3D content. Second, by making physics faster, it opens the door for much more complex and realistic simulations in games, robotics, you name it. And third, and this is the big one for me, this feels like a foundational step towards machines that don't just process pixels, but actually begin to understand the geometry of the world around them. Which really leaves us with this big, exciting question. From creating digital twins to building the metaverse, what new kinds of experiences become possible when our computers can finally interact with digital objects, not just as a bag of triangles, but with a real understanding of their shape and form? Note, this video is for reference only. Take this further. I'm genuinely excited to see what you discover. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Until next time.